What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so let's talk about this this little story that I just saw. Well, this interesting development coming from a former NBA player's opinion on LeBron James' defense or lack thereof. So look, no one will ever deny that LeBron James is a great NBA player, right? One thing, though, that gets on my nerves, and I think probably gets on a lot of people's nerves, is this exaggeration of his defensive prowess. You know, yes, LeBron James has been on some all defensive first teams, but I think some of them were undeserved. For instance, the year that Marc Gasol won Defensive Player of the Year, LeBron should have been first team. You know, it's funny how a lot of times LeBron fans say that, Marc Gasol stole the Defensive Player of the Year award from LeBron, but in reality, you could argue that LeBron stole an all defensive first team selection that really belonged to Marc Gasol. But, you know, there were those types of arguments that could be made for some of those teams he played on. Now, look, the Miami Heat years, especially some of the later Cavs years, from the first stint, and then maybe the first couple of years with the Cavs during the second stint, LeBron did play at times very good defense, right? But it is very apparent to anybody that watches this guy over the past 5 years, with the exception of a few times where he's motivated to, on a national stage, to try to fake the funk against a marquee talent. Usually the guy plays mediocre to poor defense, and he almost always guards the other team's least a talented offensive player. And former NBA player Nick Young made this point on Gil's Arena recently.
If I'm smarter than y'all, on that I don't have to work as hard. It's that simple for him, right? I'm not finna go out there and try to guard the best guy all the time. I'm gonna be in help mode, I'm gonna be talking, I'm gonna point, I'm gonna orchestrate. A lot of that is that. It was the Tom Brady thing, right? There was no defense that you could have threw at Tom Brady that he ain't seen yet.
Brian ain't doing nothing but guarding the ass person on each team.
Not
He's
true.
a four-man guarding the ass person on each team. I'm sorry. Ain't no four-mans in the league that he got to really worry about now but AD. AD wasn't out there, so he had to guard him. He had to guard Najee Muhammad, what's the nigga name? He don't have to guard nobody. It's true. It's good, though, to be at his age. He don't need to.
Look, man, everybody sees it. Everybody knows it. Okay? Now, at one point in time, with Miami, LeBron, your ass was going to play defense. You know what I'm saying? And the effort was there, although fundamentally he wasn't always correct in his positioning. And, you could argue that guys like Shane Battier, especially, show LeBron James how to actually properly play defense and to look for, opposing defensive schemes and the intricacies of playing defense out there. Okay. And shout out to Shane Battier because he doesn't get enough credit for helping to elevate LeBron James on that side of the floor. And just the Heat culture in general. But since then, there's been a slippage with his defensive effort to the point now where people like to say, it's because he's old. Well, he shouldn't have to. But I distinctly remember Michael Jordan going out there with the Washington Wizards, and at that point in time, he didn't have the same stamina that he had even with his comeback years. And it definitely took away from his offense. But he still went out there and tried to play lockdown defense against the other team's best players. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes he had tremendous success. I remember him at age 40 locking down Latrell Sprewell. I remember him at age 40 in the second half of a game shutting down Vince Carter. Hell, if people are even honest with themselves, even in that game when Kobe Bryant scored 55 points, 42 of those points came in the first half when Kobe was being guarded by Jerry Stackhouse. He was being guarded by, what's his name, Tyronn Lue, and, guys like that. When Michael Jordan primarily guarded him in the second half, he held Kobe to 13 points on 1 of 13 shooting. So Michael Jordan still went out there and played defense at an elite level on one leg. So nobody wanted to hear this shit about him being old. LeBron just is entitled. He's an entitled punk who feel like he don't have to go out there and play as hard as everybody else on the defensive end of the board, the defensive end of the game, because he's LeBron James. So he wants to save as much as he can as far as his energy on the offensive end. And what the fuck is he doing tired anyway, considering, it's pretty much a given, judging by his actions, that he's on that balcony. Should have all the energy in the world. But everybody knows this guy don't be playing defense no more, man. It's not a rocket science, man. Everybody knows it. The guy conveniently ducks Giannis all the time. Like I said, he's been playing the 4 for the last couple of years. And he ducks all the elite 4s. He had AD on his team. So, of course, you had to worry about playing against AD. Because he was on your team until he got traded. And then when you look at some of the 4s that's out there, a lot of these guys are rim protectors, you know what I'm saying, garbage pail type guys. Or they're stretch 4s who, you know what I'm saying, can shoot from outside, but may not necessarily have the explosiveness and quickness to be great one-on-one players. Good, because most players got, decent handles today, but not great. And I'm going to add something else, too. Not only does he always play the asses players out there, as Nick Young put it, but he also makes sure that he plays the shortest motherfuckers out there. You know how many times I see LeBron James guarding some 6'3" motherfucker, or in switches he attacks against the shortest motherfuckers, shooting his 6'9" ass, shooting threes over 6'2" dudes. And people marvel that he shoot 40% from 3. I would too. That's like Michael Jordan playing in a league full of Muggsy Bogues. He should shoot 40% from 3. But anyway, I'm glad that Nick Young had the right to just, felt like he had to. And you can see more of this too. I'm glad more of these guys are coming out and just speaking the truth more, Now, I'm not the biggest Nick Young fan because of some of his actions or antics when he was a player, but I at least appreciate him keeping it real right here. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.